Hey friends, welcome back to Heartscapes. My name is Michaela and you're joining me on day 17 of our 21-day journey with Reiki and poetry, traveling to the spring equinox on March 21st, 2022. Welcome back. I'm out here in my garden today. It's just too gorgeous of a pre-spring day not to sit out here, and I thought this would be just the right time to share a poem with you all. Part of what that means, though, is that you might hear some city sounds. There's some construction happening over there. And, part of why I find that valuable is that, oftentimes we want to do our practices in the most serene and calm environments that we can, which is lovely. But we also want to be able to drop into our practice in the midst of life. If we can't draw on our meditation practices, draw on our Reiki practices when the chaos of life is happening around us, then they are of limited use to us. So I thought I'd just give us a chance to play with that today with the city sounds in the background. So friends, I wanted to share with you today one of my very favorite poems. I read a lot of poetry. I use a lot of poetry in my classes and circles. So there's a lot of poems that kind of come through my consciousness regularly. And, they all have something valuable to share, something that touches me, makes me think differently about something, or opens up some creative space inside of me. But there are certain poems that just stay with me, that just have taken up residence in my heart and in my mind, that continue to guide me, to inform me, to teach me long after that first encounter, and ones that I return to again and again as I want to share them with others. And it's such a poem that really wanted to come through today. When I was in grad school, about 6 years ago now, as time is flying, I had a particular mentor and professor who, saw the angsty energy that we brought, this urgency that we had to learn, to do, to go out in the world and make it a better place. We were in a social justice leadership program. And so, all of us were really there to go out and do something, solve a problem, to fix something in the world. And she saw that drive, that urgency, and she invited us over and over again, almost maddeningly so, to slow down, to not rush to find the answers to things, to live in the questions for at least a little while. And at the time, this was a confusing and a little bit frustrating source of advice, because I, wanted to learn what it was I was meant to do, how I was meant to focus my time and my energy. I was just starting to brew this idea that I might want to go in the direction of supporting people in their wellness and their healing process as a way of supporting social justice work. And I wanted to figure out what to do about that. I had questions that needed answers. And she would just look at me and say, "Now is your time to live in the question. Don't seek the answers." And she would often repeat this poem that I'm going to share with you by Maria Rainier Rilke. Different titles to this poem have been presented in different translations, but the one that I see the most is "Try to Love the Questions Themselves." And so I'm going to invite all of you today to be in practice with me and to not only be in the practice of this Reiki meditation, but be in the practice of sitting with as much stillness, as much easefulness as you can with the unanswered questions in your life, right? To just practice letting them be, letting them take up resonance in your heart without trying to solve them. All right, let us sink into practice together. So wherever you may be, whether you are somewhere still and quiet, peaceful, or somewhere that is filled with noise and movement and distraction, I invite you to settle your body wherever you are, whether standing or sitting. Allow your body to find an easeful, restful, alert place. Leaning into the support below you. Leaning into the structure of your body. Noticing any small movements that will help you relax into this place. And allow your breath to move easily in and out of your body. Gently moving in and down. Inviting the muscles of your belly to be soft and relaxed so that they can expand with the breath, making more space inside. And gently bringing your attention to the movement of the breath, following the sensation of the breath in and down with your focus, with your attention. As the body expands and contracts, allowing your mind to move with the breath in and down, settling yourself in your low belly. And practicing resting your attention here in your centered, rooted place. Focusing your attention on the point a couple inches below your belly button and deep into the center of the body. Just resting here for a moment. And as you draw your attention in and down, I invite you to recognize the presence of the questions that you are living into in your life right now. Questions for which you do not have answers. And as you breathe in and down, I invite you to notice the sensation of making more space inside. With your relaxed belly, your breath drawing your body bigger, making more room. And into this spacious place, inviting the words of this poem. Have patience with everything unresolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, as if they were locked rooms or books written in a very foreign tongue. Don't search for the answers which could not be given to you now, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday, far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Let's continue to breathe in and down. drawing our attention into our spacious center, connecting with the spark of life that shines here. Continuing to rest your attention in your low belly. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps then, someday, far in the future, you will gradually, without even noticing it, live your way into the answer. Let's take 5 more breaths together, breathing into the questions that are alive in your life right now, putting more space around them inside of you. Allowing yourself to live through these questions. And then on your next round of breath, gently following the exhale with your attention, up and out, drawing your attention up and out, back into the spaces around you, and giving yourself a gesture of completion. Welcome back. I hope that was a restful moment for you. I hope this poem spoke to you in some way that has meaning for you today. It continues to work on me. It continues to remind me to be patient with all that is unresolved in my heart. And it reminds me to be patient with others as those around me struggle with their own questions in ways that can sometimes be frustrating, even harmful. And even as it is important to set boundaries for ourselves and with others, when that dissatisfaction with not knowing the answers to something important gets to be too much and causes us to behave badly with each other. Even as we set those boundaries, we can still at the same time hold compassion for ourselves and for each other, as we each just do our very best to live our questions day by day. So friends, thank you for being with me, for taking another step in this journey towards the spring equinox, for spending a little bit of time resting your attention on yourself, on your center, on the practice of Reiki, and on poetry as an incredible gift of humanity to each other. And wherever your journey takes you from here, wherever it takes you in the coming days, may you be deeply provisioned to live your questions. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, I love you. Goodbye.